The media was shocked to see images and footage of Border Patrol agents supposedly whipping Haitians. The White House quickly condemned it. But wait, is that true? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. President Joe Biden is facing criticism from both the right and the left. I feel like that's how I start every story these days. I guess Biden is uniting both sides in disliking him. This week, it's over the border crisis, where at one point 15,000 Haitian migrants were encamped in Del Rio, Texas. We mentioned some of the reasons why in a recent episode. But there's another big reason that erupted on social media. Images and video footage at the border appear to show the Border Patrol agents whipping Haitian migrants. Several media outlets reported on it, like Vice News, this video from Al Jazeera, and this photo from the Puffington Post. Other media outlets have gone even further. Complex, the Huffington Post, and others said Border Patrol agents were using actual whips. Actual whips. This is the U.S. border, not Castlevania. This sparked major outrage against the Border Patrol from both the media and several Democrats. Congresswoman Maxine Waters said Haitians were being treated like animals by U.S. government cowboys on horses using whips. Senator Jeff Merkley said the use of whips on refugees is disturbing and unacceptable. Congresswoman Rashid Tlaib called it sick, among other things I can't say out loud on this show. And Congresswoman Ilhan Omar said these are human rights abuses, plain and simple, cruel, inhumane, and a violation of domestic and international law. And Devo said that is not how you whip it good. But did the Border Patrol really use whips? Looks like it's time for another, wait, is that true? More after the break. Welcome back. When asked about the supposed whipping of Haitian migrants at the border, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was careful not to make judgments at first.
I've seen some of the footage. I don't have the full context. I can't imagine what context would make that appropriate, but I don't have additional details.
That's the exact same reaction I had to seeing this photo. No context in the world would make this appropriate. But Psaki then went on to accuse the Border Patrol of using brutal and inappropriate methods against Haitian migrants. Brutal and inappropriate, just like this photo. Vice President Kamala Harris went on The View to say the images of Border Patrol on horseback evoked times of slavery.
Human beings should not be treated that way, and as we all know, it also evoked images of some of the worst moments of our history, where that kind of behavior has been used against the indigenous people of our country, has been used against African Americans during times of slavery.
This footage was especially upsetting to Harris since the Haitians were driven away instead of being imprisoned. President Biden publicly condemned the Border Patrol agents and said they will pay.
Do you take responsibility for the chaos that's unfolding?
Of course I take responsibility. I'm president, but it was horrible what to see, as you saw. To see people treated like they did, horses barely running them over, people being strapped, it's outrageous. I promise you those people will pay. They will be, an investigation underway now, and there will be consequences. There will be consequences. It's an embarrassment, but it's beyond an embarrassment. It's dangerous. It's wrong. It sends the wrong message around the world. It sends the wrong message at home. It's simply not who we are.
He's partially right. The wrong message was definitely being sent on this story. In response to the Border Patrol whipping controversy, the White House said border officials in Del Rio would no longer use horses. So, are they going to use cars now? Wouldn't that be worse since they have even more horsepower? The agents involved in the whipping controversy have been assigned to administrative duties while an investigation is being conducted. This was a decision by Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. And it came despite the fact he initially pushed back on the claim that whips were used against Haitian migrants. Sounds like he was reading the Puffington Post. Before the Biden administration's response, Mayorkas and Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz told reporters in Del Rio, Texas, that they saw nothing obviously wrong with how the agents acted based on initial viewings of the images and footage. It seems like Mayorkas changed his tune once the Biden administration called the images of the Border Patrol horrific.
Secretary, what was your initial reaction when you saw these things?
I was horrified by what I saw. I am going to let the investigation run its course, but the pictures that I observed troubled me profoundly.
He initially didn't see anything wrong with it, but is now acting like he's horrified because of public backlash. That's the exact same reaction I had to seeing Chris Pratt was cast as Mario. He's as authentically Italian as Pizza Hut. This all raises the question, did the Border Patrol really use whips on Haitian migrants? More after the break. Welcome back. Many were outraged with the images of Border Patrol seemingly whipping Haitian migrants. The Biden administration was quick to jump on the bandwagon, then demand the bandwagon use cars instead of horses. But were those actually whips? The answer is no. This comes directly from Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas himself. Mayorkas explained that agents use long reins, not whips, to control their horses. A lot of media realized they had botched it. There was a lot of quiet editing, as opposed to loud editing, which is what the media should be forced to do. For example, the El Paso Times had initially reported the agent swung his whip menacingly, and then later changed it to the agent menacingly swung his reins like a whip. Too bad they didn't also change the verbiage menacingly swung. Are you writing a news article or a trashy romance novel? Some in the media admitted that they were mistaken about the Border Patrol using reins, but that didn't stop media pundits from saying that they used their reins as whips against Haitian migrants. Like this tweet from a CNN commentator, and this one from an MSNBC host. And the former director of the United States Office of Government Ethics said it doesn't make any difference if it's a whip or if the reins are used as a whip. But according to others, the Border Patrol wasn't actually using the reins as whips at all. Here's a former Border Patrol horse coordinator's take on the controversy.
Do you think it's dangerous that the administration is making these kind of comments to law enforcement officers?
Of course. Yeah, they weren't asked to do anything other than their job, and there was no. I've looked at the videos and the pictures, and there was no. They weren't whipping the Haitians at all. I mean, if anything, they were just using the reins to either create distance from the Haitians. That some of them were grabbing at the horse reins and the bits. They were either using the reins to keep them away, or they were using the reins to drive the horses into the Haitians to move them off because they were resisting the commands of the agents.
I'd say he's a pretty reliable source since being a horse coordinator means this literally isn't his first rodeo. According to Brandon Judd, head of the National Border Patrol Council, what Border Patrol agents were holding were reins. They were not whips. Those reins are used to control the horses. The agents also have to protect the migrants from the horses. They can't let them close if they try, and so they will twirl the reins in their hands. But they do not hit them, nor were any of those migrants hit by any object, let alone by a whip or a rein. Judd also says that if anyone was hit by the reins, it wasn't with the intent to inflict harm on the migrants. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, Chris, those people are border control agents. Of course they're going to defend other Border Patrol agents. How do we know they're telling the truth? Well, even the photographer who took the controversial photos claims agents weren't whipping anyone.
Now, many people says it appears the Border Patrol are whipping migrants, but the photographer himself says that's actually not the case.
Some of the Haitian men started running, trying to go around the horses. And that's kind of when the whole thing happened. I didn't ever see him whip anybody with the thing. He was swinging it. But I didn't see him actually whip someone with it, So that's something that can be easily misconstrued when you're looking at the pictures.
I guess that's the context Jen Psaki was looking for that make this appropriate. Not holding my breath on context for this, though. So, it would seem that whether it's intentional or not, Biden and Harris are pushing a big lie about the Border Patrol. Border Patrol agents are stunned by what appears to be Biden waging war against his own agents over the false whipping allegations. But that's not too big of a deal, since the way Biden wages war is by leaving in a rush and letting the opposition win. The head of the National Border Patrol Council says Biden's comments were completely and totally outrageous and accused Biden of playing politics with Border Patrol agents' lives. He sent them out there to do the job, and now he's criticizing them because his base wants them to. The agents feel betrayed, stabbed in the back, and demoralized. One agent even said Biden just started a war with Border Patrol. And he didn't even give them a bunch of useful equipment like he did with the Taliban. And now it's going to be even harder for Biden to enforce his own border policy, since his own Border Patrol agents feel like he's horsing around with them. What do you think? Leave your comments below. And if you like the show, please know we could not do it without direct support from viewers like you. Visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered and contribute $1 or more per episode to help us keep the show going. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.